Hello, hello. Happy Thursday night. It's a bit funny coming to you from a Thursday night, but thrilled to be here and so excited to talk to our special guest this evening, which we'll get to in a second. But the reason why I started these little Facebook Live sessions talking to professionals. Hey Claire, awesome to have you here. The reason why I started these was to give you guys better tips and tools on how you can best leverage expertise of these kind of rock stars. So 2 weeks back we spoke to Carly at Technobird and learned all about the land of SEO, which was awesome. And tonight we have a very special guest in, I don't know why I'm doing a reveal because you know who he is, but anyway. So Leah Ladson, who is an absolute rock star photographer, is joining us tonight to share her story, not our story, off to a cracking start. But hopefully, if nothing else, you get an amazing amount of value out of tonight. Good. I understand quite a few of you have sacrificed your bachelor watching tonight. Yes! Yay! Hello! How are you?
I didn't even think of The Bachelor.
No, me neither. Cherie just said, I'll sacrifice my rose ceremony for you guys. And I was like, oh no, a bachelor clash.
I feel very honoured though.
Yes, it's only early as well. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Did you have a great day?
I did. I'm really nervous though.
No, don't be silly.
Yeah.
Pretend it's me.
I know, but there's something so, I don't know, something changes in me because it's live. Like I do the Insta stories all the time, but this is so different.
No, it's really not. And the people online are people that you know and they're awesome. So, and you've seen me do these before. It's ridiculous. Like I swear, I stumble, I and I pull ridiculous faces. So
you're so good at it.
Bro, stop it.
You are.
But so thrilled that you joined us and technology with our friend. It's always a little bit risky, isn't it?
I know. I was nervous about that part too, but it's worked, so we're good.
We're winning. So thanks so much for being here, Leah. It's so awesome. I have admired you in a really creepy way from afar for a very long time. And then I grew some balls and was like, okay, I'm going to introduce myself to this legend online. And we've worked together, which is awesome. I'm sure we'll work together again. But you are amazing, in short. Job done. See you later. Thanks very much for coming. Why don't, for those crazy people that don't know who you are or don't know who your business is, why don't you just talk us through who you are, what you do, what you offer, who you work with, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, well, I'm sure there's lots of people who don't know who I am. So obviously I'm Leah. That's a good place to start.
No way.
Yeah, I know. Is my business name. Obviously I'm a photographer. I don't really have a start date of when I actually started because I shot my first wedding in 2008. So I've been doing weddings for 9 years. And then when my first daughter was born, or when I went on maternity with her, I sort of started the business, and that was 5 years ago. And then when she was about 9 months old, I decided to go back to my day job. And so it wasn't until about 2 years ago that I went on maternity leave with my second daughter, Audrey, that I actually decided to give it a good crack. And yeah, I know I rave about it all the time, but the girls at the digital picnic are probably, I have to thank them a lot for sort of giving me the confidence to actually go for it. So I quit my day job in April last year, and yeah, ever since then it's just going crazy, faster. Everything grew faster than I actually ever expected it to. So I'm very thankful.
Well, and you must be doing an amazing job, for it to go boom.
I'm doing something right, but it's hard to take compliments and say that you're doing a good job. I think I do okay, but yeah. Yeah,
okay. Yeah. So outside of weddings, what sort of stuff, what other stuff do you do? What sort of other photography work do you do?
Commercial is the main sort of bread and butter these days. I've only started that sort of 2 years ago. So I do like the commercial product. I do a lot of social media photography. I've got a package that people can sign up for 6 months and they just get all of their content basically handed to them on a silver platter. I do family stuff as well. And I've also just launched my 60-second videos as well. So we all know that video is the way of the future. So getting in on that.
Yeah, I'm going to interrupt you and like acknowledge the 100 people, 100, I wish, 30 people that we've got here. I don't know if you can see comments, but or like so good to have so many rock stars joining us. Hi Claire, hello Lucy.
Hi family. Hi family.
Yeah, all your family are here to hang out and see your amazingness.
Supportive.
And I love that, and I think it's so important for all of us to remember that you're not that you fell into your business, because obviously you're amazingly talented, but you followed a dream, you had a passion, you're not like formally qualified, if I can say that out loud.
Yeah.
And still a few years on, you're absolutely rocking it in your business, which, like, how good's that?
I know, it's pretty good. Like, I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah.
Oh, I just love that. I know that sounds like a really, and why people are not here to watch me harp on about how great you are, but I just love that you had a talent, a natural talent and a passion that you followed. Didn't like you just kind of pieced it together and here you are absolutely rocking it. I just love that. Anyway.
I've been doing it for a long time and just trying to sort of figure it out, and I've figured it out as I've kind of gone along. So even though I don't have like formal photography qualifications, I actually went through uni and I've got a degree in graphic design. So I always majored in photography and I've always studied it. And I've always just kind of had an eye for it as well. And I think too, like a lot of it is that the way I was raised, I just never really had that. I know a lot of people talk about they have that little voice in their head saying, the doubt, but I don't know, like I've just never really had that. And, I do doubt myself, but I never, not to the point where I'd consider not doing something.
Yeah.
Like a life.
Here you are.
Here I am. I'm nervous. I'm here.
You can do it over.
Yeah, that's it.
Lucy Green's on, and she's got a session booked in with you weeks. So hello, Lucy.
Yes.
Great to have you here. So I was in exactly the same position a few years ago when I was like, okay, I'm going to get serious in my business and I need to book some headshots or get some pics taken of myself. And I booked my photographer. I didn't know you existed at the time, so I crazily went with somebody else. Hence why my photos need updating now, probably. But I booked him, and then I was like, okay, cool, I'm done. But I have no idea what to do now to prepare for that session. So what do you recommend to your clients or the people that you work with so that they come in and absolutely nail your session together and get the most out of your skill, basically?
Yeah. So research is key. The first place I always direct my clients to is Pinterest. So go onto Pinterest and have a good look around and create a board. And even if you don't know what you want at the start, once you start pinning stuff, you'll get an idea of what you want. And then you can also share that board with me, so I get a good idea of what you want and what you need to sort of portray your business. And then from there, we'd probably just talk about locations and, backdrops and that sort of thing to make sure that you get exactly sort of what you need to portray your best self. So research. Just look into like what you want, what you are as a business, what you want people to see you as, all of that stuff. Colours, all of that.
Yeah, from a branding perspective, because I feel like it's changed so much now. Like a few years ago, it was like, here's a formal Vogue, here's a formal headshot, this is who I am, smile. But now there's so much more like lifestyle coming into it, I guess. So it's so more than just my face.
Yeah, and that's a really big thing that I've tried to change the stigma of headshots, that they don't have to be boring. If you've got a really colourful brand or you're a really colourful person, use that. And, let's create some really colourful backdrops or something to tie in with your brand and actually show your personality. It just, it speaks volumes about you person and as your brand, So I think it's really important to do that and put the research in and all the brainstorming and stuff beforehand, so that people are 100% more likely to book you if they see you as approachable, and it adds accessibility to you as a business and as a brand as well, I reckon.
Yeah, and I think that's really interesting as well from how you leverage your branding, because it kind of, Claire's just said, if you work with a graphic designer and a photographer, you've probably done so much work in what your logo is and what your business colours are and all that sort of stuff, and that's the stuff that should come into your photo shoot, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely. And it ties in so nicely together, and there's no reason why your logo can't tie in with your photos.
Yeah. Your dear friend just says, can you stop being so smart, aren't it?
I paid her to say that.
Very well planted, very well planted. And I guess the other part of your business that we see quite a bit through Instagram and through your stories as well is the land of the flat lay, which is kind of not taking the world by storm, but kind of taking the world by storm, I guess.
Kind of.
Are they that good? And how would I best use them in my business? And do you think they're here to stay? Is the flat lay here to stay? It feels like it's
Well, I'm quite partial to a flat lay, so I'm probably a little bit biased, but I love them. I think it's a really great way to, it obviously depends on what you're selling and what your product is, but for small products and stuff like that, I think they're fantastic. The standard of flat lays these days is so high. They started off and they were just, on white backdrop and that sort of thing, but the standard is so high now that you've really got to try hard. You can't just sort of do mediocre. I think they are here to stay, but you've also got your other sort of on-trend photography as well, like stack lays and shelfies and that sort of thing. So I think, I definitely think that they're here to stay, but I think more lifestyle photography is also becoming on trend, and I think it's going to sort of head towards more lifestyle as well. And you can probably see with flat lays too that they are becoming more organic, and people are trying to set up like bed scenes or breakfast scenes and stuff like that to sort of do that. Yeah.
And so that's what you mean by lifestyle. It's kind of the in situ, in real life.
Yeah, like it's to look like it's real life, but it's obviously been set up. So I think people sort of gravitate towards real, and even though it's not real, it looks more real than just a white backdrop. Yeah,
absolutely. So if I'm trying to create a flat lay myself, if I'm crazy enough not to be using you, what are the rules of success, I guess? How do I get a great shot?
For me, I like to use a lot of stuff, texture. Don't be afraid to layer things. I think is really important. What I usually do to start off with is I'll get my product or whatever I'm flat laying, and then I'll get a whole heap of other props and put them on the table next to it. So I've just got everything there, and it's one of those things. I do it so often, it's hard to actually explain how I do it. I just kind of go, oh yeah, that needs that. But from a basic point of view, I would say get your bigger items. So do your layering, do your textures, do your backdrop, and then get your bigger items and place those first, then go down to your medium items and then your small items just to fill in the gaps.
Yep. And is there a rule of thumb when it comes to white space? Is that a silly question? Like how many?
Not really. I think it all comes down to style. I personally don't really like white space. I like not necessarily symmetry, but I don't like gaps. I like things to be filled up. So, if I'm missing a gap, I'll go and make a cup of black coffee and sit it in there, or, get a fresh flower and put it in there or something like that. I don't particularly like the white space myself. I always feel it. But there's lots of really amazing flat layers out there who do like the grid flat lays, and they've got the clear white lines in between all of the items, and it's like Tetris. And they're amazing. It's not my thing, but that's definitely awesome. So guess it just depends on your style.
Well, and I guess it also depends on what your feature product is or what you're trying to sell ultimately as well, because you can't
and it
try
comes back to branding as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joanne has just said she's trying to sell hand knitted blankets. Have you got any good flat lay suggestions? So she's finding it hard to do a flat lay with a whole blanket, I guess.
Yeah, so you'd need to have other props to kind of put with it that don't overshadow your product. A hand knitted blanket, if you had a few different colours, you could actually stack lay them and not do the flat lay and just have the white backdrop and stack lay them, and that might be a good way to show off your blankets without having other props and stuff sort of overtake the shot.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. And how good are shelfies? I know you mentioned that really briefly before. When I first heard the name, I was like, shelfie? What do you mean?
I don't know who made that, but it's good. Makes sense.
Oh, they're cool. I love them. I think they're awesome.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of chitter chat at the moment, I guess, around what's next in the land of flat lay, and you've kind of hinted to some of the lifestyle-y stuff that's coming out, but I guess it's video as well. What's kind of... Oh, sorry, before we move on, let me just answer some of these questions. Claire, do you always consider the whole grid when you're planning a shoot? Ooh.
Yeah. Yep. I always shoot too, and I don't use my phone, but you know how you can put your phone to square mode? So it's like Instagram shot. I do that in my mind. Is that weird? A little bit. So I always do that in my mind. So, and when I'm actually posting to Instagram, if you have a look at my feed and go into the photos, you'll see that I post them as your sort of 15 by 10, like 4 by 6 size. But when they zoom up for your feed, they also are perfectly symmetrical when they zoom into that square. But that's clever. You kind of do. Yeah, you have to consider the whole grid. But the best thing I can recommend is to just play around.
Yeah, and I guess that's really important, isn't it? Is there's no right or wrong. It's just it's just having fun and giving it a crack. And some of them are going to be hideous, and some of them are going to be great.
That's it. And like, you know, when you're doing it, I'll see a tiny little space and I'm just like, I'm not sure exactly what's wrong with it, but it's just not quite right. So I'll play around until I get that right feeling. I was watching my friend Selena, she's a florist, the other day, and she does bouquets, and she does the same thing. Like, there's no rule about it, but she just gets her flowers and then she just looks at it and she's like, nah, something's wrong. So she'll switch something around, like, yep, that's it. And it's just the same sort of principle. I think it's just maybe it's creatives, you know, you have something in your head and you just you just know when it's right.
Yeah, and the more you practice, like the more you do it, obviously you've done a billion of them, but for us novices at home, the more you do it, the more you kind of work out what.
Well, that's it. Like, it might surprise you, but I feel like I'm finally finding my feet with flat lays. I've been doing them for a long time, but I look back at my old ones and I'm like, oh, that's shit. So, like, I do. And so the ones that I've been creating recently, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. God, that worries me. If it's taken you a couple of years, I've got nothing.
There's hope.
So tell me what's going to happen. What's coming next? Like, what is it all going to be about? Video? Is your whole business going to transform into being a video factory? Like, what's going to happen after a flat lay? The flat lay trend kind of expires, I guess.
I reckon flat lays will stay around for a while, but video is definitely the next best thing. Well, not next best, but it's massive for engagement. You get a lot of reach out of it, and Google loves it. I know Carly spoke about SEO, and she's a lot more qualified than I am. But yeah, video will get clicks to your website, people engaged. Yeah, definitely video, and stop motion as well.
Yeah, I know. So tell me about that.
Yeah, just, you know, little videos and stuff that you can post on your Instagram. What I've launched is they're cut to 60-second videos, which is what the maximum you can do on Instagram is anyway. And so, yeah, they're not supposed to be, you know, massive full production videos. They're just, you know, to get your engagement up, to get people, there's things in video that you can portray about you and your business that you just can't in photos. So
yeah, And how would I go about doing video? Can I just do it on my phone?
Yeah, yep, definitely. Yep, just make sure your lighting's right. That's one of my pet peeves is you just have to have lighting. Yeah. Whether it's natural or artificial, doesn't matter. You just have to have really well lit content.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Video. I do harp on to my clients. There's a few of you on board watching tonight about video, and I have a few amazing success stories as well in relation to video. And it just is such an easy way to portray your message, and for people to
actually speak to your clients.
Yeah, and for people to fall in love with you, it's a bit easier to do that when they can understand your crazy mannerisms.
As long as you're not totally awkward like I am.
Shut up. You are not. But God, I remember the first video I did, I was telling this story earlier in the week actually. I deliberately did a Facebook Live. I think it was like 11 o'clock on a Saturday night, and I acknowledged that it was like a ridiculous hour. And I'm sure there's no one watching because it's 11 o'clock at night, and it gives you a great insight into my personality being online at that hour. But it just kind of broke the camel's back, really. And I just started, and then I realized that the world wasn't going to end, and you keep going. So even if you're not talking to camera, but you've just got to start, don't you? It's just about one foot in front of the other and getting cracking.
Well, that's it. Now that I've done this with you and you've held my hand a little bit, I might be able to actually go and try one on my own.
You will. You'll never shut up now.
Yeah.
The other area, or the other thing that you do really well, and I think is kind of a hot topic at the moment, is around collaborations. So it's such a great opportunity for people to collaborate with other businesses when they're planning photo shoots, when they're doing flatlays and all that sort of stuff. Can you talk us through how that works for your business?
I love collaborating. I think collaboration is probably one of the biggest things that has created my business to what it is today, to be honest. I didn't even know what an influencer was a couple of years ago. But obviously now I'm very much in Instaland and, you know, pretty much on top of, you know, who's doing what and stuff at the moment. And in the past 3 months in particular, I've had some amazing opportunities with people like Chelsea from My Heart Bargains and Sophie Keisha from The Young Mummy. And those, yeah, I know, it's pretty cool. And those two opportunities just came because I asked. I reached out and they were like, yeah, cool, let's do it. So I have, no better advice other than to just ask. If you can handle the rejection, what have you got to lose?
Well, and 99.9% of the time when you do get rejected, it's actually got nothing to do with you. It's just the wrong time, or not the right fit, or not right now, or I don't have the budget, like whatever it is. It's never, no, I don't like you, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about that too is when you are asking, you need to be confident and you need to back yourself.
Yeah, and I think the other part for me when you're collaborating, and this sounds like a really 101 thing to do, 101 thing to say, and the Digital Picnic girls were talking about it last week. Jess from Collabosaurus was saying it's a two-way street. It's not only can you give me this, it's like, well, and in return I can offer you X, Y, and Z. So it's how do you put yourself in a way that it's like, hi, I know you've got a really big following, can I tap into it? It's like, well, no, I do too, or this is what I'm going to give for you as well. So it's a partnership fundamentally, isn't it?
And that's it. And at the end of the day, these influencers are just people too. Like they're just people like you and I running a business. And if it's a right fit, it's a right fit. If it's not, it's not.
And especially when you're trying to do photo shoots, you know, if you've got if you're doing flatlays and the like, and you need other props and you need other things, how amazing for you to partner with other businesses and then be able to provide them the photography that you can use at the same time.
And it's the best thing ever. Like I've met so many amazing people from reaching out and asking if anybody wants to collaborate with photo shoots. You know, I'll say I've got a beauty shoot coming up. Is there anyone who's available to send me some products? I'll either swap the product for photos or I'll just post the product back. Some of my greatest like Insta friends I've met through collaborating and just doing photos together.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can tell me what it's called, your little Bendigo hub, your little,
Girls from...
thank you.
Yes.
That's like a collaboration like I've never seen before. That's just like
it's
a
collaboration
almost, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Collaboration central. Yeah, it's friggin' unreal. Like it's so great to have all of these women. Bendigo has got some amazing talent. It's
a lot of the people watching are from Bendigo.
Yeah, I know. Represent.
So how did that come about? Like, how did it start?
Sorry?
How did it all start for you from a collaboration perspective?
Girls from the Go, or just in general?
No, Girls from the Go. Yep.
Girls from the Go started as a hashtag, believe it or not. So a few of us, the OG, the originals, which is Issy from Seriously Milestones and M from Happy Hands, Happy Heart and Morgie Mac Design. We just started using it when we were posting stuff. And then I just sort of saw the potential of it. So I created the Instagram. There's been quite a bit of confusion about actually what Girls from the Go is. And I've got massive plans for it. I just don't have the capacity to do anything right now. It will probably have to wait till the girls are in school. Yeah, so at the moment it's just a secret Facebook group, which is just a small group of women in business in Bendigo who I personally know and are with. But in the future, it is going to be this mega amazing thing where we're going to host events and have workshops and all the good stuff.
Yeah, and all of that's anchored in collaborating. Like, that's amazing.
Collaborating, and yeah, we've been able to get some amazing people to Bendigo already with the little resources that we have. So yeah, in the future when we've got more resources and more sort of backing behind us, we'll be able to do some really amazing things, which I'm really excited for. It's one of those things I want to do everything now, but I just can't.
And don't we?
Other business and family and, you know, all of that stuff too. So I've just got to pace myself.
Okay, I've got a couple of questions for you, just to put you on the spot. Alicia, sorry, I'm not sure how you pronounce your name. What's the best advice for someone wanting to start a photography business?
Well, you need all the equipment, which costs a lot of money. You need to have confidence, and you need to find a tribe of people who can you can bounce your ideas off, get advice about things. That's not even specific to photography, like that's just any business. You need to do your research, and you need to get your branding and everything right before you launch. And I don't know, you just need to have confidence. Obviously you need to know how to take photos and that sort of thing, but just it all comes from confidence and having a good support system, I think.
Yeah. And did you start with weddings because you love weddings, or is that an easy way in, or is it just a subject that you...
No, weddings are not easy at all. They're such a huge responsibility, and you know, even now after doing them for so long, if I actually sat down and thought about the responsibility of being a wedding photographer, I could actually freak myself out. So I don't do that. Just, you know, sort of put the blinkers on and just go. The reason I shot that first wedding was just a friend had asked me to do it for their friend. I think that's the best way when you're starting a photography business. You sort of need to do the freebies, do the cheap stuff, and then, you know, I was that photographer 5 years ago who was charging $50 for a shoot, and now I'm charging $600. So, you know, I've worked myself up. It's gradually crept up, but over time, and that's the same as any business. You know, with experience, you're able to put your prices up and sort of be confident to see your value.
Yeah, and you've got to make some of those calls early on in your business. Not saying we all need to work for free, but to get your folio, to build your folio, I'm assuming you'd need to get some runs on the board to be able to demonstrate what you're capable of, and to get those testimonials, which is the same in my business. It's nobody wants to work with me if they can't see my client list or can't see any of those testimonials from first-hand experience. So I guess it's the same.
Absolutely. You need to be able to show what you've done, and even now, like I think back and I shot my first wedding with one camera, one battery and one memory card, and I just cringed, and I'm like, what would have happened if something stuffed up? Like now I've got multiple bodies, multiple lenses, so many memory cards, so many batteries, and I just think, oh my God, what was I thinking? Like so stupid. But you know, that's just like start out.
Yes, Cherie, your animated videos are doing well, TDP, because they're freaking awesome. I love them. They're gorgeous. They're just, and so of course they're doing well.
And Tanya's a girl from the Go, Petite Pixel Design, their videos, and she's just amazing.
Yeah, so clever. It really makes me wish it was more clever when it comes to her.
Me too. I had a coffee with Tanya, and she brought her little she brought her iPad, and she's got like a little drawing app on it, and she let me have it. Like, oh, this is so much fun.
If only I was good at this.
Yeah, no, if only I could draw doing scribbles.
Yeah, minor detail.
Yeah.
Chrissy, got you, Emily, when I started watching your Insta stories. Oh God, which really worries me because my Insta stories.
What did she say?
Pardon?
What did she say?
Oh, she said she started getting, like, she totally got where I was at when she started watching my Insta stories.
Ah, good.
And just being able to connect and talk to somebody, I guess.
Yeah.
Cherie, watching A Week in the Life of Vlog. Yes! From a brand new mind, it makes me see what life... Yeah, it is so interesting to put yourself in the shoes of other business owners to see what's going on, and we're all just kind of doing the best we can. Kelly, don't you apologise for being late. It's awesome that you're here. Chrissy, all of this just makes me want to move to Bendigo.
Do it. Everyone's welcome.
The city of Bendigo, or?
Sorry.
You guys should be working for the city of Bendigo.
No, we create our own council.
Claire says, I'm an SMM and I always get worried about cramming. As a photographer, where do you stand on your work being cramming, maybe? Where do you stand on your work? Oh, yeah. Where do you stand on your work being shared? Would you like to be asked first, or are you happy for tags? Lots of, I guess, conjecture in this space around not wanting to rip off other people's work. So what's the etiquette when it comes to photography?
I think everybody's different, and I'm probably a little bit more lenient than most people. But I actually have in my contract now that any photos that I take for people need to be credited on social media. So, you know, if it's on a website or on a flyer, obviously it doesn't need to be credited, but anything on social media now, I've just got in my contract. So there's no sort of grey area. It's just black and white. Everyone knows where they're at.
Yep. And then if I just stumble across something on social media, it's just about retagging and giving credit to where the original photo came from, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I've had times where I've stumbled across my photos and it hasn't been tagged, and it's been sort of reposted 3 times. And depending on where it's come from, I might just leave it, or I might just shoot them a message and just say, hey, this is my photo. Could you please tag me?
Yeah.
And it's just that people don't mind, and they'll just do it straight away, and it's not nasty or anything. But yeah, don't be afraid to ask for your work to be credited. It's particularly for an art form. It's my art, so I'd love to. Yeah. And that's also how I've sort of been seen by people, is always being credited properly.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just that normal act of kindness. Just treat people how you want to be treated, so that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you read all the amazing Bendigo love.
Will I be able to see this after?
Yes, you will. Yeah.
Cool. Such a novice.
Oh, don't be silly. Like, there's like 75,000. Go Bendigo, go Bendigo. And I'm like, yeah, whatever.
You can all girls from the Go.
Yeah, I can see you.
I've got time. We're going to have the biggest events, and you guys are all going to have to come to Bendigo instead of us coming to Melbourne.
That's okay. Make them worthwhile. We'll hit the freeway.
Oh, mate, don't you worry. They're going to be worthwhile.
Okay, so if anyone's got any other questions, just comment below. We're going to wind it up. I know you all want to get back to The Bachelor, and there's plenty of great TV on tonight as well. So, Leah, where do people people find you? What have you got coming on up? And yeah, how would somebody start working with you?
You can find me. My website's really crap at the moment, so I'm not going to direct you there. I've got an amazing website. I saw the first draft of it this week, actually. It's going to be amazing. For the moment, though, come and find me on Facebook or Instagram, because that's where I'm at all the time. Or just email me, whatever. What was your other question? Sorry.
So did you want to talk about some of the your mentorship program?
Yes. So I've had, over the last probably 3 to 6 months, I've been really inundated with messages from mostly other photographers, actually a lot of small business as well, just asking me how to do things, how to take their own photos. Do I have tutorials? What would I do in situations? So I've decided to, over the next 6 months, work on some sort of ebooks and tutorials, some mentoring programs, and so yeah, in the new year I'm going to be launching that side of things, which is pretty exciting. I'm pretty chuffed that people would sort of come to me and ask me. Like, sometimes I just don't know that I know what I'm doing. So yeah, it's very nice that people kind of ask me what or how to do things and stuff. So it's sort of gotten to the point where I don't have the capacity to be sort of emailing back and messaging back and stuff everybody's questions and answers to them. So yeah, I've decided just to put it all in PDF form and try and get my brain on paper and spell check it. And then yeah, so that's going to be sort of in the new year, which I'm really, really excited about. Yeah,
Chrissy's just said none of us know what we're doing. Like, none of us know what we're doing. We're just doing the best we can. That's why we come to you, I guess.
Well, I shouldn't say that I don't know what I'm doing then, hey.
You probably know more about photography than what I do, so you can consider yourself a...
You know, when you just do it all the time, and you just you can't sort of articulate to people how to do things, it's really hard to actually sit down and explain it. So I've got to figure out a way to do that.
It's like the grammar test. I always kind of test whether I know a theory when I have to dumb it down so much to explain to my grandma. And I have a lady who's 96 who lives across the street, and she asked me one day what I do for my job, and I was like, oh wow, this is my first test. It's like, what do I do? How do you describe it on a really simple level? But yeah, we're all just doing the best we can and making it up as we go. So, and this is what this kind of Q&A, I guess, was all about, was photography is a really scary area for a lot of people. Obviously, you're completely naturally talented, but as a small business owner, I don't have $1 bazillion to spend with a photographer, but I still need great content. So I hope tonight everybody's watching who's got something great out of this, and you've picked up a little tips along the way. I'm sure. You've given us great value, and there's some really interesting and exciting areas in there as well. The land of video is obviously going to take the world by storm, and I love that you think a Flatlays here to stay, obviously, because we're both impartial to them, but I also think it's just such a beautiful visual, space to kind of get stuck into.
It's pretty.
It's so pretty, yeah, it's so interesting. You kind of get engrossed, I reckon. Anyway, that's a random point of mine. So thank you so much. I've loved chatting. You have nailed your first Facebook Live. And
wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, so thanks for that.
All your little girl gang was here, so you can pay them.
We've got 31 followers. That's really exciting.
Look at that.
We're winning at life, really.
If anybody's got any other questions, you can comment below. We are going to run a tiny little promo like we did last time. So just comment below, go and like both of our pages, and you can just win half an hour with either of us. If you can pick Leah's brains for half an hour and just kind of get deeper into any of those questions or any of those issues that you might have, by all means. Yeah. An amazing amount of love on the page for you there, Leah. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much for having me.
And I'm myself as well, so bonus. And yeah, if you've got any other questions, anybody, just comment below. We'll hang around and answer anything that we've missed. Hopefully I got through everything on the list. And thank you. Thanks, Leah. Awesome job. Chat to you soon.
Bye.